Welcome back to Musician's Edition. Today we are looking at number 125 in our Essential Elements Snare Drum book. Now in 124, in our last video, we used all of the written stickings, right? And we were careful to make sure that we did every single sticking that was written on the page, right? In 125, we don't have any stickings written on the page, right? So this is a piece where we're gonna have to, instead of following someone else's instructions, we're going to have to make some decisions and decide what stickings we want to use for this piece, right? There's lots of different options. We'll talk about a few of the different options, and then we'll use the ones that are most comfortable for me today. Feel free to experiment around with different ones, right? And find what lays well with your hands. And use those stickings when you don't have any written instructions. All right, so now remember, when we're making sticking decisions, you always want to have your pencil with you, right? Because we only want to make these decisions once. And once we decide which sticking we want to use, we're going to write it in and use that one every single time. Down the road, you may decide you like a sticking that's a little bit different. And if that's the case, that's why we use pencil. You can always erase those stickings, write in something else down the road. But what you don't want to do is rely on your memory to remember what sticking you used, because you're probably not going to remember, and then you're going to have to make these choices every single time that you approach this piece, right? So just pencil it in and then play it that way every time, okay? So let's look here at the beginning of this piece at the first decision we're going to have to make. So in the first measure, we have 1E and 2 and roll 4 and we're probably going to start with our right hand, right? And then the third note of the measure, right, the 8th note after the 16ths, the 1E and, is going to land on our right hand, right? And so we have two options here. We can either do right, left, right, and then continue to alternate and play left, right, or we could play right, left, right, and then play another right hand so that we get back on our right hand being on the beats, right? And the way we want to make that decision is by looking at what comes after it. So we see we have a roll on beat 3. We're probably going to prefer, if we're right-handed, we're going to prefer to start that roll on our right hand, right? So we want to figure out a way to get to our right hand by beat 3. Probably the easiest way to do that is going to be at the beginning to play right, left, right, right, left. Okay, so let's try it before we write it in, but we're going to go with right, left, right, right, left, buzz, 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 right, left. Okay, let's try it first. Ready, and go, and. Okay, I like how that feels, so I'm going to write that in. Right, left, right, right, left. Now I'm just going to put an R over the roll, which just tells me that I'm going to start the roll with my right hand and then alternate, okay? And then that's going to bring me out of the roll on a right-left. Now, in the next measure, we might not need to write anything in, right? Because the way that it looks seems like if we're going along and our right hand is on the beats, and we get into measure 2, it's going to land as right, left, right, left, right, left, buzz, 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 right, left. So no, not really any decisions we need to make there. If we just run into that measure, it's going to land the way that we would want it to land anyway. So nothing to write in measure 2, right? If we look at measure 3, it's the same as measure 1, right? So we're going to go ahead and give ourselves a little reminder that we want to play right, left, right, right, left, start the roll on the right, okay? Then if we look at measure 4, it's the same as measure 2, and so we don't really need to write anything in there because it lays nice and evenly, and nothing's lopsided that would turn our hands around. So if we just continue to alternate, measure 4 is going to land the way that we want it to, all right? So now, as long as we play measure 1 and measure 3 as right, left, right, right, then we're set for the whole first line, right? Let's try that. 2, and ready, and go, and. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. I like how that landed, so we're gonna leave it as is. Again, if you make a different decision, totally fine. Just make sure that you write that in so that you remember it and play it that way every time, okay? So now let's look at the next measure, the first measure of the second line. We have a rest on 1 and then we play and on the second half of beat 1, right? So we have rest, and 2, and. If we start that 16th note with our right hand on the and of 1, then it'll put the rest of the 8th notes and the roll on our right hand, right? And 2, and 3E, and 4, and. Okay? We wouldn't really want to probably start that with our weak hand, right? Our left hand if we're right-handed, because then it's going to put everything left hand lead, and we typically want to play with our strong hand leading on each beat, right? So that would mean measure 5 is going to be rest, right, left, buzz, 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 right, left. I think I like the way that feels. Let's try it first. And 1. Yeah, that's nice. Okay. Now in measure 6, we're going to want to play the flam with our right hand. Now there's two options here. We could play flam right, or we could play flam left for the and of 1, right? Flam right or flam left. Now, when we choose stickings, we want to think about what happens before it and what happens after it, right? More importantly, what happens after it in this context. We see there's a roll on beat 2, right? And we would rather choose to start rolls on our strong hand. So we're going to put an R over that roll, right? Which is going to tell us that we need to play a left on the and of 1 of measure 6 after the flam. All right, so beat 1 of measure 6, we're going to play flam and then left. That way our right hand can start the roll. So it'd be flam left, buzz, 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 right, left. And then we can put that flam on our right hand, and then we can play left hand on the and of 4, just like we did on beat 1, right? So we're going to get flam left, right, left, right, left, right, left, flam left. Okay? Now there's no reason on beat 4 here in measure 6 that you couldn't do flam right, if that's more comfortable for you. We already did the flam left sticking on beat 1, and so I'm going to use it on beat 4 again, just for the sake of consistency of sound, because flam left is going to sound more close to flam left than flam left is going to sound to flam right, right? So just for the sake of getting the same sound on beat 1, same sound on beat 4, I'm going to use the same sticking for both, okay? Now in measure 7, we have that, again, a rest on beat 1. And so we want to put our right hand after that rest so that our right hand lands on the beat. And 2, right? Rest, right, left, right. After beat 1, so we're going to on our right hand on beat 2. Now we can either alternate right, left, right, left, right, left, or we could play right, right, left, right, right, left, right. Now this is one of those spots that it's kind of up to you, because either way that you play it, you're going to end up with the roll on beat 4 landing on your right hand, which is what we really want anyway. So whatever way is more comfortable for you, right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, or right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Either one of those is going to give us kind of the same result, which is the roll on beat 4 landing with the right. So I'm going to pencil in the roll on beat 4 as being a right. I'm going to leave the rest of it open for now, and that's going to be a choice that you can make based on whichever one of those is more comfortable to you. Okay, so let's try both of those options in measure 7. So the first one we're going to alternate everything. So we're going to rest, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, buzz. Okay, ready and go, and rest. Okay. Now this time, let's do it what we call right hand lead. So I'm going to play right, left, right, right, left, right, right, left, buzz, 1. Okay? Ready, and go, and rest. Okay? I think that one feels a little bit better to me, so I'm going to go with right hand lead here. So I'm going to put some right hands on the 16th notes, so I remember that I play 2 rights in a row when I go from 8th note to 16th note. Okay? Now we just need to figure out what we're going to do with the last measure. So coming out of the roll, beat 1 is going to land on our right hand. So the two options here would be right hand on 1, left hand flam on and then right, left, right, left, right. The other option would be right hand on 1, flam on and then right, left, right, left, right. I think I'm gonna go with a flam on the and of 1 with the left hand, so that I can kind of set myself up for the roll on beat 3 to be on my right hand, which we definitely want to have happen either way. We want to start that roll in our right hand, but I think coming out of the flam, it's going to feel a little bit more natural to play it on the left hand and then start the roll on the right, as opposed to playing the flam on the right and then trying to start the roll on the right again. All right, so I'm going to go with the last measure being right, left hand flam, buzz, 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 3. Okay, so let's try that last measure a couple times. Ready, and go, and... And the other option that you could choose, which is totally cool as well, is right, 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 left, right, left, right. Okay? So now let's see if we can put the whole bottom line together using all those stickings we just picked. Again, measure 7, choose your own adventure on beat 2 and beat 3. I'm going to play right hand lead. In the last measure, flam on the and could be right hand or left hand, but definitely starting all the rolls on the right hand. All right, here we go. And ready, and go, and 1. Okay, now that we've got all those stickings together and we've got the whole first line stickings ready to go, we're ready to play this whole piece. Okay, so let's try the whole thing from the very beginning. 1 and 2 and ready, and go, and... Okay, so that's number 125, and a lot of different options that you can use for stickings, and kind of how to go through the process of picking what stickings you're going to use. Again, the important thing is that you make a choice based on what feels really comfortable to your hands, and then you stay with that choice by penciling it in. Always open to changing it in the future if something else seems more comfortable, but the idea being that we only want to make those choices one time, write them in, and play it that way every time. Okay? So have fun with that, happy practicing, and I'll see you next time.